Matthew, this is the Kiita number 36. This is the wooden base that it comes in. Here's the back of the stone. I have a kiridashi knife. This is a traditional Japanese carving knife with wrought iron on the jigane side, and on the back is hard carbon steel. This is similar to what you might be using, although I understand yours is a larger, heavier knife. But this is hard, probably Hitachi steel. So on the Kiita, I do have a piece of Nagara that we can try testing to begin with. This is Mikawa Nagara, and you can see it leaves a white slurry. So predominantly, you can see a little yellow on the Mikawa Nagara. Predominantly, this is a Nagara slurry. Maybe it's about 60 to 70% Nagara, and then maybe 20, 30, 40% of the Kiita makes up the slurry. So, of course, on the jigane side, the omote, this is soft iron, and of course that will abrade off really quickly. So we're going to use the back, which is all hagane, high carbon steel, and we're going to watch for the slurry to change color. The Mikawa Nagara just acts as like a lubricant between the stone and the steel to prevent suction, like you were talking about. It's a factor in using your stones right now. So I'm leaving part of the slurry untouched by the knife. And then where I'm working right now, this is representing where all the action is happening. Okay, and you can see how the slurry has turned dark charcoal color. That's all pure hard carbon steel. At the same time, the blade is getting more highly polished. So the next thing I'm going to do, this is with an alternate grit particle, the Nagara. I'm going to rinse off the blade, and I'm going to demonstrate the actual cutting power of the stone itself with a pure unadulterated slurry made from a diamond plate. This is old worn out number 600 Atama. It's probably acting more like a 1200 right now. So I'm going to raise the slurry using the Atama. So what you're looking at is just a slurry purely from this Kiita. And this slurry, of course, is yellow. And this will represent the actual cutting power of the stone itself without another alternate force. Okay, so here again we've got the hard steel. And there again, the slurry has turned really dark, a more intense charcoal color, and what wasn't engaged still remained light colored. I'll do a few more strokes on this. And of course, when you turn the knife over, and I'll put a few passes on the omote side, where the hard steel and the soft iron are incorporated. And of course the soft iron abrades very quickly, but that's what creates a nice hazy finish on the blade. And beyond using a kana blade, which has a great portion of hard steel on the back. Predominantly, it's all hard steel. And then on the omote side, you have, the hard steel and the soft iron together. But this is all hard steel back here. And you can see how dark that slurry turns right away. It's a broad piece of steel, so you're braiding a lot of material. I'll repeat that same sequence with just the kana blade, and you'll get a better picture of what's happening. Rinse the blade off. So this is probably Hitachi steel. It could be Swedish steel, but this is a 1940s, 50s blade. Tremendous cutting action going on here, and it's very, very smooth. This Kiita is a grit-rich stone. There's a lot of silica that's available, and the stone itself is not overly hard. So that's one video. I'm going to bring in another stone here now. This is the Suita that we were talking about. It's number 212. And this is a Nakayama Suita. I'm going to perform the same task with the kana blade that we just left with on the Kiita. This is a much harder stone. The Kiita I would rate as a maybe 5. On a scale of highest would be 5+++. This stone is more like a 5+, maybe a 5++. So this is a really hard stone. Look at how that cutting's going on. This is a super cutting stone, and it's very fine. And I know it's popular to say that these Suita stones can trap larger grit particles. Well, in our case, it doesn't matter because we're not dealing on the nano level. We're dealing on the micro level. So there aren't particles large enough in this stone to actually create an issue. So this is with the hard steel, and then if you turn the blade over for this is with the hard steel and the soft iron, which is what your blade is to, a bimetal blade. So those are two demonstrations. I can go back with the Mikawa. Well, maybe I'll just do water only with this kana blade. So here again, this is the hard carbon steel, the ura side. There's quite a lot of suction going on, and therefore it's more polishing the blade than anything. Here's the Mikawa Nagara. So we have a white slurry, and that adds a certain amount of relief from the suction, and therefore you're going to have a little bit more cutting action going on. You can see the slurry has turned gray. Not as fast cutting as with the diamond Nagara, the diamond plate, but this is an option. Okay, I'll turn the blade over. This is the omote side. Most of your sharpening is going to be done on the omote. And there's the kind of action we're getting from this stone. So those are two stones, two different amounts of cutting action. Both stones are extremely fine. and you can sharpen a straight razor on these stones and get a very good shave from them.